Better than words. Say it with a selfie. An argument by Gloria Chang. Why are selfies so popular? In our digital age, the selfie is the best way to express oneself, empower oneself, and even surround oneself with friends. Everyone everywhere owns and uses a smartphone, and with at least a million different social media platforms available, you'd have to live in a cave not to take part in and appreciate this form of communication. Sure, there are critics who say that selfies are taken only by narcissistic craving attention, but those critics really do not live in caves, and they certainly have no friends. Selfies are about art and about life. In a society saturated, stuffed to the brim with social media, selfies are an artistic form of self expression. Humans, since the beginning of time, have used self portraits to express themselves. From ancient Egypt to early Greeks to famous painters such as Rembrandt and Van Gogh, people have expressed themselves artistically through self portraits. The only difference between the artists of old and modern selfie takers is that technology now allows anyone and everyone to be an artist, and a self portrait is now called a selfie. It's easier to create a self portrait with a smartphone and its filters. You don't need to know how to draw or paint when you have a cell phone. Selfies are about self discovery. Selfies allow people to show different parts of themselves. Maybe it's their artistic side, maybe it's their silly side, or maybe it's to show an interest or passion, such as a love of certain foods. Whatever that side may be, by showing the selfie taker's interest, selfies become more real than any boring photographer's work. Photographers don't care if they show who you truly are in those boring photos. They're interested only in making sure you are in focus. They don't know what you are like. How can they? None of us even know ourselves until we experiment with different views, explore different interests, and discover the things that influence us. In this way, selfies, unlike past self portraits that weren't taken on handy mobile devices, allow us an easier and better way to find out who we are, just like trying on different clothes to find what works best for our personalities. Selfies is an excellent way to test how we look and feel in certain outfits, poses, and places. Our own reaction to those pictures, along with the reaction of friends and strangers, help us figure out what works for us as unique individuals. Selfies are about self expression. Taking a selfie is like saying to the world, this is me right now, right here. And a selfie does a better job of communicating this who, when, and where than spoken or written down or words can. After all, the human brain, as science shows, is hardwired to recognize faces. In other words, we naturally recognize things and people visually. The effect is more immediate. The object, people, and backgrounds in a selfie can show what a selfie taker likes, hates, admires, or aspires to. The taker's attitude will naturally affect his or her facial expressions. As they say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Even museums and art galleries know that selfies can be an artist's means of self expression. They encourage visitors to take selfies with works of art, to share an art. One gallery in London even held an international selfie competition for people to submit the most artistic selfies. But don't just trust the artists and everyone who takes selfies. Trust science. One scientist who studied the motivation for taking selfies found that we take selfies as a form of self expression, not to be narcissistic. So don't assume that you're a narcissist. Don't assume that it's all about you. Selfies are about self confidence. Selfies empower us because they fulfill our own need for validation from friends, families, and the rest of the world. If you don't believe it, try it. Science has shown, once again, that taking selfies make you more confident, especially kids. We all know it. Some people are not allowed to say positive things about themselves because other people will say that they are full of themselves. But a selfie is a photo, so it's acceptable for those people to show what they're proud of. Sure, people may get fixated on selfies being about physical things, but that doesn't mean the selfie has to be about how someone looks. Everything in a selfie can tell you about a person. For example, a selfie can show that someone may be the next celebrity chef because the person's always posting selfies of himself or herself cooking and eating at different places in the world. Selfies also empower us because they make us happy. In two studies, researchers discovered that people who took selfies and people who didn't both thought pictures taken by themselves, those are selfies, made them more attractive and likable. If you like photos of yourself, taking them boosts your confidence. In another study, scientists had college students take selfies and share them. This made them more confident and more comfortable with their smiling faces. It may not even be possible to take too many selfies. In short, taking and sharing selfies boosts both self confidence and self esteem. People who say otherwise are like cavemen. They're probably people who've never taken selfies. So they probably don't have any self confidence whatsoever. They probably hate people who do have self confidence. Selfies are about making connections. The best part of taking selfies is that they're a great way to connect with friends or even make new friends. Since we all have smartphones and social media is everywhere and here to stay, we stay in touch with friends by taking selfies. It's like sending a letter in past times, but selfies are faster and are sent with a phone instead of a horse. By taking and sharing a selfie, you can share what you are thinking, feeling, or doing with your friends. Social media is made for others to give feedback, so friends can tell you what they are thinking, feeling, or doing. They can do this by sending your favorite emoji emoji icons or posting comments or sending a selfie of themselves back to you. Selfies are all about online social network, and social network leads to better relationships. Teens especially say they have more positive experiences than negative ones when using social media. Selfies may have been around for only about a dozen years, but they're today's way of connecting with other people. Selfies are about making memories. Selfies also help us create special memories. By posing with friends or at special events or places, we create snapshots that we can look back on with fond memories. Obviously, taking selfies helps create memories because people naturally take selfies when something is happening right there close to them. They also take selfies when visiting places they like or think are funny or strange or interesting. There are even Ralphies where couples take photos of themselves. Did you know that couples who take and show more Ralphies are more satisfied with and committed to the relationship than people who don't? And there are groupies selfies that include a self taker and friends or family or even celebrities. They make the best memories since they include people we want to remember. Selfies are really selfies really are better than words. Whether by ourselves or with our favorite things, places, or people, selfies obviously say it better than words. They express who we are and what matters most to us.